Welcome everyone to another edition of the Lucha Review, where we take on the nerdy and dirty. It's the start of the summer, my favorite time of the year. We got barbecues, we got beaches, we got summer blockbusters, and we've got the 30 years of summer. What we do is we take a look at any piece of entertainment, whether it be movies, video games, wrestling pay-per-views, doesn't matter. Anything celebrating a 30th anniversary, we're taking a look at it. Tonight, Dick Tracy, our main attraction. The biggest summer blockbuster of 1990, without a doubt. We're going to find out who he was, what the movie was all about, and whether it's worth your time. So tag yourself in, folks, and let's take on the nerdy and dirty.
In 1989, Batman proved to the world that cartoons and comic book characters had earned their rightful place on the silver screen. 1 year later, in 1990, America became obsessed with Dick Tracy, Chester Gould's classic comic strip hero. Most of us didn't know who Dick Tracy was, but clever marketing surely got us interested. Just simple drawings with bold colors, and they were everywhere. Even with limited knowledge of the character, we knew Dick was coming, and it was gonna be big. Under Warren Beatty's direction, this comic strip explodes off the page. Dick Tracy is one of the last movies to rely on painted sets and use of makeup, vibrant color, and clever lighting create the illusion of living comic characters. Beneath it all, an incredible performance that walks a thin line between cartoons and crime dramas. When you need a despicable gangster, you need Al Pacino, who delivers one of his finest performances as Big Boy Caprice. Caprice, who's risen to the top of the criminal underworld, will do whatever it takes to stop Tracy from ending his reign, and the forces of evil are portrayed by a star-studded cast. Joining Pacino are Dustin Hoffman, William Forsythe, the Micro Machines guy, James Caan, Kathy Bates, Paul Sorvino, Catherine O'Hara. Even the principal from Back to the Future wants to take Tracy down. And if that's not enough, you get more Dick. That's right, Dick Van Dyke also has a few scenes in the film. But of all the film's villains, no one wants to get a hold of Dick as badly as Madonna. As Breathless Mahoney, she's willing to help Dick Tracy end the tyranny of Big Boy Caprice, but her help will not be free. 30 years later, Dick Tracy is still a main event. It was one of Hollywood's early attempts to bring comics, cartoons, or video games to the box office, and its cast and visuals make it one of the best. But what kept it from withstanding the test of time? Maybe this will help. Dick Tracy was the biggest summer blockbuster of 1990, and television stations rode the wave by resurrecting a cartoon that nobody had seen since the 1960s. For many reasons. In the cartoon, Dick Tracy did fuck all to catch bad guys, and relied heavily on a cast of harsh stereotypes. If that didn't offend you, then the dull colors and limited animation surely would. I'm pretty sure I recognized Paul Frees's voice work in some of the villains, but that wasn't enough to save it. This cartoon is a fucking jobber. It was hard on the eyes, its characters were not appreciated, and after a few weeks, it was buried. Interesting sidebar, though. The cartoon and comic strip versions of Dick Tracy have a striking resemblance to Ronald Reagan, who was considered to be cast as Pruneface in the 1990 film. Beatty didn't want to mix politics with cinema. Imagine that. In retrospect, it might have been a better move to dig a little deeper, because the 1990 movie was not Dick Tracy's first appearance on the big screen. There are over a half a dozen Dick Tracy movies from the 30s and 40s, with the last of which starring the one and only Boris Karloff.
I tell you, if I didn't know better, I'd swear we were doing business with Boris Karloff.
The sound of that bell means we're out of time, so join us next week as we continue to celebrate the 30 years of summer. This is the Lucha Review, thanking you for watching.